Welcome to Smart House Design. Today I'm going to show you how I make my RJ45s on my Cat5e. So now you've actually put all this in your smart home and you're ready now to put connections on the end. I'll show you some of the tools I use first of all. This is just a cable tester, and what it does is just go through all the different connections, and I will plug it in and I'll give you a good understanding of how this works. You just take the wires on both the ends here, plug them in, and then you'll see where it goes through and checks every cable as to make sure that they're all a good connection from point to point. So that's the cable tester. The next thing you might want to use is I have, it's called a Fox Landhound. You plug this into the one side of your wiring, and then what it does is it generates a tone that you can go anywhere in your home and find the wire that's toning. So that's another piece of equipment that I use to actually find my wires. The other piece of equipment you're going to need is a good quality crimping tool to make your RJ45s on your cable. A bag of good connectors. I buy them usually in 50 bags or 25. The other thing that I've got ready to go is the plate. And once you've made your connection through the wall, you can take this and you plug it into the back of the connector. And then of course, on the front side, you've got your connection to whatever device. And on this one here, I put in a coax connection right there. The other tools you might need is a good side cutter to cut the wires nice and square, and a very sharp knife to cut the insulation off. So now let me show you how actually I make one right from scratch. So I'll get a connector ready. And let me get this one of them out. The standard that I use is the T568A standard, which is right there. And this is actually the wiring that I always go through to make my connection. So what I'm going to do is take a bit of the wire off a little bit, just slice the cable, the outside shield, pull off the shielding, take my very sharp needle nose or side cutters and cut that off. Now what I'm going to start doing is following this color code right here. So first thing we're going to look for is the green and the white. There's the green and the white. We're going to untwist this. And we're starting off holding our white with green on it, or green white. Then we have green right after that, so we're holding that nice and tight. The next one is orange white, and here's my orange. We're going to untwist this. We're putting the orange white wire next into the lineup. The orange we're going to pull aside, and that flips down. The next thing that we need is the blue and white. And of course the code says we put in the blue wire first, untwist that, and there's our blue wire setting up next. Our next one is blue white. The next one is now the orange comes back into the mix, and there's our lineup right there. The next thing that we need is brown white. There's our brown white, and the last one is our brown. So that's the configuration. The trick here is you got to hold it really tight and make sure that they line up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your side cutters and making sure that the wires are in there nice and tight and still all aligned. You want to bring them down as best you can, and then you're going to cut it really clean right off the top. You're going to take your glass end, the RJ45, and then what you're going to do is you're going to line them up nice and smooth, and you're going to slide it right into the wire. That's it right there. You slide that in nice and tight. You always watch for the little connection point, the break point right there. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your your crimping tool, and you're going to put a lot of pressure on it. And so there you go. There's the one connection. That's actually how you put on an RJ45 to the end of the Cat5e. Now, of course, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go to two ends. I will get my wires out again, and then I'll plug into my wire tester just to make sure everything is good. I'll plug this end in to one side of the tester. The other side of the tester goes into the RJ45 jack. Now, if you can imagine, of course, these would be at two different places or different rooms, and then you would see that everything as it's coming down the pipe is perfect. So there's your connections done, and that's how you would put on an RJ45 glass end to a piece of Cat5e.